So I want to introduce you to my collage work. It's funny because that is sort of, in a way, coming out to the world as an artist, and the identity of, like, claiming the identity of artist is something that I've kind of grappled with for a little while. So I've done like a number of takes on this, just trying to get it out, and it feels extremely blocked, so I'm just going to talk honestly about that, so maybe it will come out authentically. Currently, I'm working on 2 pieces right now. I started, but I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about the history of it, I guess. I started 2 years ago. I was in the float tank, actually, and I had told a story about being in my first float experience, and that kind of inspired me to start working with my hands more, because what came from the float, my first float experience, was, I don't know if you watched that video, but there was a yellow cloud that revealed itself, and that yellow cloud contained information which basically told me that I have an illness in my body. And so that actually ended up becoming a nerve infection, which I still actually experience the residual effects of to this day, and it's been almost 2 years. So that's had a huge impact on how I look at my hands, because the nerve infection, it was shingles, and it affected my sciatic nerve, and you'd think they would be isolated just to my leg, but it actually ended up being, my whole nervous system just kind of went nutso on it, and that resulted in like extreme anxiety and tension and numbness in my arms. First it was pain and tingling, then it became numbness in my arms, numbness in my chest, numbness in my face, and that was a really, really intense time for me. And my hands, because they were, I guess it was just anxiety, but I wasn't able to go outside in the cold because my hands just got they were just so painful, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was going on. There were no answers, and the anxiety was just building and building. And I just kept saying, like, I'm not done with these. Like, there's so much that I want to do. Like, I always envisioned myself as an artist. Like, when am I going to do that? Like, when do I have time for that? And if you know, they're doing all these tests, like maybe it's MS, or maybe it's, the doctors didn't seem like that they thought that, but they were running those tests and things, and they weren't canceling it out, and fibromyalgia and things like that. So I was panicking because I was having my life, like the rug of my life, just pulled out from beneath my feet, and I wasn't done. I wasn't done being comfortable, I guess. So I asked myself, like, what do I want to do with my hands? And I want to heal. I want to do art. So those are the 2 really big things. Healing being Reiki, which is what I ended up submitting myself to a couple of courses, and I ended up becoming Reiki level 2 practitioner. During that period of time, I lost my job, and that was really stressful, so I took my vacation pay and put it towards my Reiki level 2 courses, 1 and 2, and just kind of crossed my fingers and hope for the best kind of deal, and somehow I pulled my way through that. And inside of that, I was kind of on unemployment and started working on my art a lot. And so I wasn't working. I had no job. I was really quite stressed and ill, and had a lot of time on my hands to think about all the intense stuff that I was moving through. And instead of dwelling on the negative and trying to control whatever was happening in my body, I just started concentrating my energy on things that I wanted to manifest and create in my life. So I started working on collage, and so I'll show you first of all the Lady in the Water, who is my most current piece. It's not my first piece. My first piece is actually living at the float center that I work at, which is very lovely and beautiful to have it there, and very symbolic, and so nice to see it there every day. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna show you the Lady in the Water. I'm a little bit nervous about it, I guess. I don't know why, but anyways, okay, show you. 1 second. Okay, so currently I'm working on her in the window, because I'm in my bedroom. I'm not really coming out of my room right now because I'm being a little bit of a hermit. But anyways, this is kind of what we're, I'm not gonna fall off the bed. So what we're working on, or looking at here, gives you an idea of the size. And her face is sticking out of the panel there. And up close, maybe a little bit of a glimpse into what's going on in there. A little fire breather. Okay, can't really show you too much more, it won't let me because it's too high up, but yeah, that's the lady in the water. It's really dusty actually right now. She's covered in, oops, she's covered in her own dust because not long ago I sanded her whole face. I put clay on her face and molded her cheekbones and then painted her. I was just in this flurry of like painting and things, and so I was kind of messy, and so the whole thing is really covered in dust right now. Pieces of her. So that's Lady in the Water. And the other piece that I'm working on, which I'm taking a little bit of a break from, is called The Space Between. And the intention behind that has been to invite really intense cosmic love and connection into my life. And since I've been working on it, I have been attracting a lot of really beautiful people and connections into my life, and so that's just been really very, very magical. And so I've been learning a lot inside of that process, and I'm not going to get too into it because it's really personal, but yeah, I'm moving through a lot with that one, and so that's why I'm taking a little bit of a break, because it's a little sensitive at the moment. So yeah, and the intention for the Lady in the Water was just make a lot of personal evolution and growth. So a lot of identity stuff and getting into a place of identifying myself as an artist, for example. She's had like 6 or 7 faces, and I keep building on top of them and building on top of them and covering up the old faces. So she's got layers and layers of faces that you just can't see, and only I know about them. I've documented a bit of the process and have some of her faces on Instagram, so if you're curious you can look it up. It's on Niche of Misha, NICHEOFMISHA, and that's my Instagram handle. And so, okay, I'm gonna take you into the other room and show you The Space Between, and then I'll show you a couple of the other pieces that I've finished already. I'm gonna take you for a little walk. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so this is The Space Between. There we are. So my inspiration, my visual inspiration, it comes from these pretty spectacular images of butterfly nebulas from the NASA page, but there are also a couple of faces in there. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, a lot of my focus currently is on the space between the two faces, and there's a lot of like metaphor inside of that as well for me, very personal. And I'm not going to get into that though. And so this is the eye. And the eye initially was just on this one canvas here. And by the time I had filled the whole thing, I just felt like it was really contained and it didn't have any space to breathe. And I knew that it was alluding to these other parts of the eye, but I felt like I needed to see it. So I added those 2 panels. It's actually not complete. There's some raw edges that I need to like fold over and just really like small details of things, but I'll complete that when I feel like doing a little bit of tedious work, maybe in between some pieces when I don't have a main one to focus on. But kind of give you an idea what's happening in here. There's a bunch of little stories and things, and it's nice to sort of discover when you're like in front of it, but since you can't be here in front of it, I'll kind of give you a little pan around. Okay, and so that's the eye, and I'll show you the heart as well. I have to go around the coffee table. Let's see. Alright, and hold on a second. So this is the heart. I don't know if this is where I should be standing. Maybe I should be farther away. Okay, yeah. So this is the heart. And I'll do a little zoom in, a little pan around. So all the black is little tiny triangles. There's some stories in here also, as you can see. I don't know how much of it I'm showing you because I'm not able to see what I'm showing you right now. But yeah, and it's three-dimensional. I don't know if you can see that, but these are all ridges. This is all birch bark, and based on little clay ridges that I made to create the veins. So that's kind of, I guess, what I wanted to show you. I want to kind of make little videos about the pieces that I'm working on, but I'm still a little bit shy about sharing my process, which is strange because I'm usually pretty transparent about these kinds of things with people that I'm interacting with, but pretty conscious that I'm speaking to a lot of people that I don't know, so yeah. I'm sure I'll get there. It's all part of it too, right? The YouTube channel thing is new for me, so I realize I'm kind of slow and I take a lot of space, a lot of time to get to what I'm trying to get to, and that's just part of how this is all unfolding. So I'm going to be really gentle and forgiving with myself about that, because I don't generally like to take up a whole lot of space. So that's kind of awesome that I'm doing that. So yeah, that's all. Those are the pieces that I'm working on at the moment. And I know in a previous video, I just want to kind of acknowledge something that I said. I said that I was going to be doing a video on pain management and inside of the float tank, and I think I've already acknowledged this before, but I just want to say it again. I'm not forgetting about it, but it's something that I think is really important that I don't just want to sort of blah blah about without having a really clear picture of what it is. Also, I'm not really feeling the impulse to talk about it right now, and as far as the YouTube channel is concerned, I really just want to put things out there that feel in the moment, that are very authentic, that want to flow out of me, and that's the only way that I can really get these videos out, because otherwise I feel like I'm trying to regurgitate some stale ideas or something that only partially exists inside my head, that's no longer current or no longer something I can like clearly talk about, because it's not a huge focus of mine right now. So yeah, I don't know what the next one's going to be about. I'm going to stop trying to forecast those things, and but I will keep doing these videos. So I really appreciate those who are subscribing, and I appreciate all of your time and attention. And it's Thanksgiving in Canada, so happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if that means anything to you. I didn't celebrate it this year. I just kind of stayed home and was a bit of a hermit as usual, and sort of, I'm actually just going to dismantle my closet right now and see if I can purge a whole bunch of stuff, and then just get ready for tomorrow. So yeah, but I hope everyone has a really brilliant day or evening, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye.